This is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up.
Dortmund can only manage a 0-0 draw against Wolfsburg, and the big talking point from that game was the fact that Aubameyang wasn't included in the squad. This was a depleted squad in the first place. Big illness going through Dortmund. It finishes 0-0, and we're hearing now reports, Gab, that he didn't play because he could be on his way to Arsenal.
Yeah, Dortmund manager Peter Stöger coming out and saying again that Aubameyang, needs to mature, needs to grow up. I think this is the third time this season, if I'm not mistaken, that for disciplinary reasons he's missed games. And look, as people tried to peddle him everywhere all of last summer, I think they see the opportunity with Arsenal, obviously with Alexis Sanchez, possibly Mesut Ozil as well on their way. As I understand it, though, from Arsenal's end, remember they're also chasing Malcolm, the winger from Bordeaux, who's going to cost a pretty penny as well. And I'm also not 100% sure. Aubameyang these days is a center forward. They obviously already have Lacazette and Giroud. So I don't know how much of this is Aubameyang's people kind of driving the situation.
What do you think, boys? Does this make sense? It's interesting looking at his numbers, 21 goals in 23 games. I feel like we haven't talked about him much with regards to his scoring this season, but it's still pretty prolific.
Yeah, listen, the thing that worries me is why would they bring him in with never mind Giroud? Why are you going to spend that amount of money bringing somebody like him in who has a bad disciplinary record when things are going well? And if he's not going to play, which you want, because you got to, for me, you play Lacazette.
Lacazette's a better player?
I think he suits Arsenal better than Aubameyang.
He's not at the moment, though, is he?
Well, he's not. He's playing in a team that can't create a chance. So regardless of what the name of the back of your jersey, if you're centre forward for Arsenal right now, you're not going to be scoring a hat full of goals. But if you've got a guy like Aubameyang who's got disciplinary problems and he's not playing, you're asking for.
Wir haben heute Gespräche geführt, haben ihm den Sachverhalt erklärt, warum wir das so sehen und warum wir so handeln. Haben ihm auch gesagt, dass vor allem ich der Meinung bin, dass nach der Aktion ich nicht das Gefühl habe, dass es momentan der Fokus so auf dieses für uns so wichtige Spiel.
Great headline in the Times back in England. City lose a football match. Of course, they will not go this season unbeaten. Stevie, let's start with you, because as a Liverpool fan, I can't imagine the emotions that you went through in that second half.
At 4-1, this is fantastic. This is what your dreams are all about against one of the top sides in Europe. But when the second City goal goes in, oh my goodness, all the nightmares start coming back about all the leads that you've given away in the last 18 months.
Yep.
And so from there on in, I'll tell you what, I was sat on the edge of my chair, biting my nails.
But in the end, they, of course, hold on. Ali, we've got a great job, no denying it. But in watching a lot of matches, we watch a lot of dross.
Yes.
This, as Klopp said, was the sort of match that you want to put in front of someone who maybe you're trying to encourage to enjoy the sport, because this had everything. And from a neutral's point of view, it was just so much fun.
And a lot of times we sit here previewing matches and we say, well, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It should be open because both of the teams like to attack, and then we should get up to the weekend and the game doesn't live up to expectations. Well, I think this game actually surpassed expectations, because not only did you have a Liverpool team that made Manchester City uncomfortable and attacked Manchester City and created opportunities and scored goals, Manchester City kept playing. Other teams, they go down 4-1, 20 minutes to go, they say, you know what, it's not our day, forget it. They kept saying, you know what, we're going to keep playing the way that we are. We're going to be stubborn. This is the way that we're going to do things, and we're going to keep attacking. And because you have the frailties defensively from Liverpool, then they're always open for a comeback. It was excellent to watch. It was entertaining to watch. And in the end, a very well-deserved victory for Liverpool.
How did they do it, Stevie?
They did it by being brave and trusting what they're good at. And what they're good at, Liverpool, is closing the ball down. And, you know, sometimes I think people forget that, you know, closing the ball down doesn't always mean that you have to win the ball. Sometimes closing the ball down is about stopping the opposition making a pass, making them go somewhere where you're strong. And that's what you saw from Liverpool. The front three, no question, were closing the ball to win it. The three behind them were closing the ball to make them go to places they didn't want to go. And that's why we never saw the front three of Manchester City, because particularly the three in the middle, but you've got to say the front three as well. The job they did closing City down when they had the ball is what made the front three of City pretty much invisible.
How much credit, you hear Klopp after the game, and in the US we saw him swearing live on air, he was so excited about the result. How much credit do you give to him, and how much does he have to trust his players to do what Stevie says? Because we talk about brave, which is sometimes a weird word to use, isn't it, in football, but they were brave because they went for it.
Yes, and to be quite honest, I don't think that Liverpool had any other choice, because what you do best puts you at risk against Manchester City. So then, do you go out of character and play a different game, or you trust that you are good enough to do what you do best and make sure that Manchester City is not in the match? Liverpool trusted what they do best. They trusted that they were going to be able to press. They trusted that they were going to be able to create turnovers. And oh, by the way, they trusted the fact that Dejan Lovren was going to hold up in the back. Yep. That Joel Matip were going to hold up in the back because Van Dijk was not available. And so in doing that, in saying, you know what, we are going to lean on the things that make us a good team. And we're going to hope that that's good enough. Today, that was good enough.
Gab Marcotti with us. Gab, how, as an Italian, did you cope with a 4-3? Were you OK with this?
I was okay with this because there weren't that many defensive mistakes, or rather, when there were mistakes, such as we saw City giving the ball away in midfield, it was for the reasons that Ali and Stevie explained. Liverpool did a really, really good job, I think, of pressing, of closing the ball down without losing their defensive shape. And then when you see goals flying in like that, when you see three absolutely tremendous individual finishes for that sort of 9-minute Liverpool blitz, you can only stand up and applaud, because, I mean, Klopp is right. This was fantastic to watch.
No, really, really, really happy about it. I had absolutely worst days in my life. I had not a lot of bad ones, but to be honest, a few were worse than that. Because I really respect the quality of the opponent. To be honest, it's just good. So you can see what they do. You see, and you see, if you want, you can see Man City 5 times a week, pretty much. So and you watch it and you see it, and you know you have to avoid this and deny that, and then you know, okay, all possible, but quite difficult. You need really good football team to do that, and thank God I have one. So. And that makes then sense to try it, and they tried really hard today. It was just a joy to watch. It's not that I said in the meeting, boys, by the way, it would help a lot if you could win tonight and nobody speaks about Phil Coutinho anymore, because we like talking about him, actually. And he would probably still jumping in his new living room in Barcelona and happy about the win tonight. So, but of course for us it's important that we show it's possible to play without him, and we did that. And so that's a nice, very important statement, absolutely.
It's our first defeat. You need to live that kind of situations to realize what we have done so far, what it's expecting for the future. So sometimes the words in the press conference when the people say since 1 month ago, it's over, it's over, it's over. Football is unpredictable. Of course, you lose today against a fantastic team, and you have to be sure to win the next one and see until the end, fighting to be until the end, to fight it to win the Premier League. But you have to live. During the season, is today in the real world is unexpectable to, especially in that league with a lot of games, with a tough 2 months in the past, with a lot of 4 competitions, and it's so difficult to maintain against good teams. To be every time no lose. These kind of things must happen, and now is analyze the tactical way, the reason why, and be positive and think in Newcastle. That is only we can do.
An eventful weekend in the Premier League, and I know what you're all thinking. Oh, I wonder what the best team is of the week.
I wasn't.
Here it is in all its glory. Mariner, Nicol and Marcotti come together, and this is it. Stevie, did everyone make it?
No. No. I actually had 3-5-2. I had Vertonghen, Evans, and I had Maguire from Leicester.
Yeah.
I had 5 in the middle. I had Son on the left. I had Arnautovic on the right. We can switch them over.
Okay.
I had Lanzini, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Noble.
Right.
And I had Kane, and Wilson from Bournemouth up front.
Oh, there you go.
Klopp's an easy one.
Did you have Fabianski in goal?
Yes, I had Fabianski in goal.
Gab, what's your team of the weekend like?
I think I showed a little more love to Liverpool players than Stevie did, because I had Oxlade-Chamberlain in there.
Yep.
I had Jurgen Klopp as manager, obviously, even though he didn't go out and talk about how poor they were defensively after the game.
Changing them.
No left back stood out for me, and I wasn't gonna cheat by playing a back three and putting a winger over on the left hand side. So
well, part of it. By the way, hold on. So you're throwing Robertson in, part of a back four that lost 3 goals. And don't say, don't say none of them were down to him. Well, regardless, which some of them he could have done better. But as a unit, when you lose 3 goals as the defence, you take some of the blame because you're part of it all. All right? That's easy.
You attack and defend with 11 men. Isn't that what you managers always say? Everybody's responsible.
Well, Liverpool defended with 6, by the way. The front 3, the middle 3, and the four behind them forgot all about it.
Right, so wait, how's that 6?
The front 3 and the middle 3, 6.
Right. You said they defended with 6.
So it's not their fault.
Right. Because the back 4 and the goalkeeper let 3 goals in, so how good were they?
Well, I have no idea where this is going.
Well, you asked the question.
How did they defend with 6?
Because the other 5 were not defending, were they?
But
they
so
lost 3 goals.
So what were the midfield? So the defenders were the midfield and the
front 3 and the middle 3 is 6.
Yeah, so
they were defending with 6 because the other 5, which is the back 4 and the goalie, forgot to defend.
So what were the front 6 doing? They were the defenders.
Shut up. Gav's the one that brought up
what? You brought
the whole
up
team
6.
defending.
The 3 and the 3. And the 3 and the 3.
Hey, listen.
And the 5.
If it's too complicated for you, we'll get somebody else to ask the question.
Get some sort of abacus for me. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, really.
And why Fabianski in goal?
Because it was tough.
Courtois, Michael, did they not deserve a shout?
Listen, had it been one of them, I wouldn't have argued with you. I just don't think... There wasn't a pure, outstanding goalkeeper, but listen, Swansea need all the points they can get, and he made a couple of saves. So.
All right. OK, on that point, we will say goodbye. ESPN FC and our abacus, it will be with you throughout the week. FA Cup replays this week.
Oh, hey.
6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN News. Let's just take a look at how bad the defending champions have been. Fewest points in 18 games since 2005-2006. First time they've lost back-to-back games at the Santiago Bernabéu league since 2009. Held scoreless in consecutive home games for the first time since 2007. They've dropped 22 points this season. Last year, when they won the league, they just dropped 21. It has been a massive fall from grace. And the front page of Marca says, inexplicable. Meanwhile, Mundo Deportivo, the Catalan newspaper, loving it, in crisis. Derrumbados, tumble. Tumble indeed. No goals, no luck, and no explanation, says the front page of AS. Tony Cruz trying to explain what's going on, took to Twitter, and he tweeted this. He came out and said, it's true that this is a difficult time for us and all Madridistas, but everybody who says we played a bad game today has no idea about football. It was a good performance, and we have to continue. Still a lot to win this season.
The problem is that it doesn't matter whether it was a good performance, a bad performance, an okay performance. It doesn't matter because you're 19 points behind Barcelona. So you cannot give yourself any sort of pat in the back. There is no moral victory. That doesn't exist for a club like Real Madrid. It doesn't exist for Toni Kroos. It doesn't exist for Zinedine Zidane. At home, against Villarreal, in a match that you have to win for many different reasons, if nothing else, because of the pressure on Zinedine Zidane. You play well in the first half, and then there are opportunities to score. You have to score. And Stevie's right. You're Cristiano Ronaldo. In a moment of crisis for Real Madrid, you have to be the guy that puts the team on the shoulders and scores the opportunities that are there to be scored. You don't, then you open yourself up for trouble. And oh, by the way, it is... If you say, okay, fine, we played well, the ball didn't want to go in, okay, then you end up 0-0. It's still a struggle, but you end up 0-0 at the worst. The goal by Villarreal comes from a Real Madrid corner kick. Straight from a corner kick, counter-attack, 2 passes is a goal. That is unacceptable. I don't care what team you are. The mistakes being made by Real Madrid are the sort of mistakes that is a bottom of the league sort of team. That's the way they're playing. And at their talent level, that's unacceptable.
We were talking about this game before, Steve, and I said, oh, no, Real Madrid looked better in the first half. And you gave me one of those, you don't know what you're talking about, Dan looks.
Well, for me, the only real chance where you can turn around and say that should have been a goal was Ronaldo one-on-one with the keeper. The other ones are, you know, we're showing 35-yard shots. We're showing a free kick that deflected. We're calling about a penalty that Isco was offside. OK, I said the Bale header should have been a penalty. So you go on at half-time, 0-0. You've still got another 45 minutes to show what you're capable of. Nothing. That
was the weird thing. Well, what happened in the second half? Because it just felt like the momentum had completely been taken out of the game.
Well, you can sense that this is a team with a whole lot of doubt. And so when things are going well and you're feeling good about yourself and you're creating opportunities, you're like, OK, all right, we're doing OK, we're doing fine. And then all of a sudden it's still 0-0. And then all the things that you haven't been able to do throughout the course of the season start piling up again. And so you saw a nervous Real Madrid in the second half, fragile Real Madrid, and doubt all over the place. And the same expression by Cristiano Ronaldo time and time again, every time that the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve the problem.
I want to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo because take a look at these stats. These are the most shots, top 5 European leagues. You look at Ronaldo, 94 shots. He has scored 4 goals. A 4 out of 94 conversion rate from the Ballon d'Or. How does that happen?
Well, he's lost a little bit of sharpness. And when you do that, it cuts down on your time to be able to decide what you're going to do. It makes it harder to get your feet in the right place in order to put the ball where you want to put it. And then when you start thinking about it, even the best players, when they're struggling, start thinking about it. Football players are at their best when they're playing naturally, when they're not thinking about it, when they're confident. This guy, along with the rest of his teammates, by the way, are absolutely lacking in any sort of confidence whatsoever.
Bale hauled off in the second half. We'd never see that for Ronaldo, obviously, because it's Ronaldo and the repercussions would be deep in the locker room. Should he be drawn? Are we getting to that stage?
It's getting to the point to where what is he doing for you on the field? Right now, you ask the question, is he helping us? And if you're Cristiano, it feels like he has to be out on the field. He has to be the guy. He has to be the leader. He has to be the one that puts the team on the shoulders. And it's not happening. There's a real lack of leadership in this team on the field and off the field.
Quickly, Stevie, would you drop him?
I wouldn't drop him, because I've got nothing else to replace him with that's any good.
Welcome into Extra Time. Before we address your questions, so many tweets I had, Stevie, during the day was, what were you like watching the game? Me and Steve don't spend all the time in our lives together, so we weren't watching it together. Were you vocal, Stevie? Were you nervous, Stevie?
No, I was vocal, Stevie.
What was the language like? How colourful?
I'll tell you what, other than the performance and the scoreline and winning, I have to confess, I was cheering when Sterling got substituted, along with the, 50,000 Anfield.
Yep.
I was like, yes, bye.
He had a shocking game, didn't he?
He did, yeah. It's too much for him.
Yeah.
He can't handle it.
Then Bernardo Silva came on and it was 4-2, then 4-3.
Oh, no, that was
different kind of language.
I've gone a little quieter by then.
Your tweet made me laugh. I don't know if we can talk about his tweet. If you've got Twitter, check it out. Meanwhile, let's talk about the playoffs in the NFL, shall we? The first tweet is, how about the Eagles, Gab? Looking like Vikings next up. What chance do you give the Eagles to make the Super Bowl? Hey!
You know what? I was on the bandwagon, then I got off the bandwagon, then I got back on, then I got off, and now I'm a true believer again. I thought, we weren't great against the Falcons when Foles threw that awful wobbly pass at the start of the game with the pass interference. I was ready to put something through my television. But then we have that nasty defense. We hung in there, and now I say, bring on the Vikings. No fear whatsoever.
Who's number 59,
Fly,
Gab?
Eagles, fly.
No one seems to know, even our NFL people seem to know who that is.
Well, this is the shirt of a player who was with the Eagles a few years ago, D'Amico Ryans, whose career was ended by an ACL. But he has the same birthday as me, July 28th. So this is my tribute to him.
Gab, I've got a question for you, right?
So many questions after that.
I've got a question for you, Gab. Would you rather get to the Super Bowl, because you know you're going to lose to the Patriots anyway, because whoever gets there is going to lose to the Patriots. Would you rather just get knocked out early rather than have the heartache of getting beaten in the Super Bowl final?
Good question, Stephen.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather go to the Patriots and grind Tom Brady, that silly Kraft, all those people. I'd like to grind them into dust. But I have a feeling, though, that we won't be playing them
hold on a second.
in the Super Bowl.
What do you mean silly Kraft? What are you talking about? Oh, do you mean the silly Kraft that's built
the people who cheat, the people who go and film the opposition, who film the Jets walkthrough, those guys?
That one.
How do they film the opposition, Gab? With binoculars?
Well, they got in big trouble for this a few years ago. They were cheating, they were spying.
I know what they were doing, but your act was brilliant then at filming as if it was some sort of binocular vision camera. Steve, you're going to go, aren't you? Are you going to go to the game?
That's a good point, yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can go to the game next Sunday.
Didn't Kraft sack you?
Hey, they left on amicable terms.
Let me tell you.
Everything's good.
The team I had when I left, I would have sacked me. If I'd been Wenger and it was up to me, I'd have sacked me.
If you were on Wenger's contract, you would have, Steve.
No, not using.
All right, maybe I've stretched the truth a little.
It's not you, it's me. That's how they left it.
That's it.
It's not you, it's me.
You read about your book, didn't you? I think I read that. Didn't you write about it? You went anyway.
Yeah, I did.
That was it.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up.
Hey, that wouldn't happen today, by the way.
No.
Imagine a manager that goes in there, yeah, you're right, this is not working out.
Yeah,
no, but I was frazzled. I'll be honest, I was frazzled. I just had nothing left. I had nowhere else to go. And
now you get to work with Burley every day.
Well, yeah, things are looking up. I get to work with Burley.
Decisions.
Okay, should we talk about soccer?
Okay.
When will Mo Salah bolt to Real Madrid?
Oh, man.
Well, listen, if he does next season, or certainly if he continues to do what he's done for most of this season, for the rest of it, and does it again the following year, then that's when maybe the questions might.
That's been a World Cup in between as well.
Is that a World Cup?
World Cup in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit razzle dazzle.
I think it'll be. It's going to be at least another season and a bit anyway.
Gab, which Szczesny's performance this season should he start ahead of Buffon in the Champions League games?
Easy there. No, I don't think there's any possibility of that happening, provided Buffon's fit, of course. He didn't stick around this long just so he could sit on the bench and watch Wojciech Szczesny, of all people, play in the Champions League in what will likely be his final campaign. So no, just not happening.
That's it.
If Gab had been a football player, what position would he have played?
Are we talking soccer or football?
No, football.
I don't know, Gab. Where would you have played? Did you play at all at college?
No, I played rugby in college, actually.
What was that?
I played second row in college.
But if you have been
Rugby, the sport with no pads, Ali?
Huh?
The one you don't play in Venezuela?
No, American football. Would you have what position would you have played?
I like to think that, I don't know, maybe I like hitting people, maybe offensive line, possibly tight end, something like that.
Hey, Gab, you know what? Well, I can see you as a defensive end. You look like a defense.
No, he doesn't have that speed to get around the corner.
Have a little bit of pace in your youth?
No.
Do you have any pace?
He can't
a little
get around
bit more
corner.
than now, but never much.
Ali, did you play at all? In your younger days, what did you play?
No, I did not. As my scholarships were for soccer.
I'm not sure if you dipped your toe.
If I had dipped my toe, I probably would have been.
What?
I probably would have been a linebacker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If I had dipped my toe.
And your boy was a what was he? He was a kicker and
he was a defensive end and a kicker. Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. Yep. And Gab, I was full back at rugby.
Were you?
I was, yeah. And then I moved into centre. I was the place kicker as well, by the way.
Oh.
And in the sevens, I was scrum half.
Oh, I was a winger.
I have no idea what any of that means.
That is it. We are done.
Don't forget to click subscribe.